Hello everyone, welcome to another pickups episode. This one is for February of 2023. This is actually the 2-year anniversary of these pickups episodes, as I started in February of 21, but I only started making them in English and uploading them to this channel in August of that year. But technically it is the 2nd anniversary. Anyway, the first thing that I got was this copy of Mario Kart 8. This was an auction on Facebook that I won for 45. I was the only person who bid on this, and I'm guessing that's because not many people own a Wii U. I don't know if I'm going to keep this because it was quite cheap and I already have the same game on Switch, but I can sell it for about 3 times the price that I got it for, so it's a good deal. Also, even though it was an auction, I happened to live very close, so I went and picked it up at his place. Anyway, that was a good pickup for 45. Next up was a guy that I found on Facebook who had 3 different auctions at once. I won the Game Boy here with a game and this USB charger for 50. It was listed as broken because the screen does not light up, except for a small LED in the corner, as you might see from here. One of the Final Fantasy games was 50 and the other was 60. These are most definitely for reselling because I don't really care about Final Fantasy and they were really cheap at that price. The included game with the Game Boy was also really good. It's Sega Rally, which is one of the more expensive Game Boy Advance games. So all in all, for a total of about 200 for all of this shipped, I am really happy. Next up was these Nintendo 64 games that I got from some guy on Facebook. He sold them to me for 500 and something. I don't remember specifically what it was, but it's in the corner. Right there. First off, there was Banjo-Kazooie, which is complete with the manual and cartridge, but sadly there's no inlay. The same thing goes for Zelda here, which you can barely see in the background. This one is not in the greatest of condition, as you might be able to tell, although the corners here are fairly nice. It is definitely worn, but not as much as Zelda here, which can barely stay intact with these flaps and is even more worn, but they were cheap. Then we have Extreme G2 and Jet Force Gemini. The guy who sold me these told me that he wanted to start a game store, and I thought, oh, that is great, and I told him that I had the same thoughts, that I wanted to start one too at some point. But then I received it a couple of days later and I sure hope that he improves on this before starting a game store, because other than the box, of course, this was all of the shipping protection. Just a little bit of paper. That wasn't even for these were completely unprotected inside the box. It was just a bit of paper around the loose cartridges, which is the ones that out of these is the least. So hopefully he starts packing up his games better before selling. Next up was this stack of games that I got in a Facebook auction. All of these are loose and sadly in not the best condition. But anyway, here are all of them. First is FIFA 2002, Siphon Filter 3, Spyro the Dragon, Gran Turismo 2, but only one of the discs. I didn't realize this when I bid, but oh well. Moto Racer, 007, Tomorrow Never Dies, and lastly this one is empty but used to contain Mickey's Wild Adventure, but I already sold this one. I forgot to mention that I won these for 70 kroner and then there was 30 in shipping, so 100. Next up was another PS1 game. This one was a local pickup for 50. The guy had a bunch of different PS1 games and most of them were 50 kroner. I was supposed to pick up 3, but one of them turned out to be a fake, and the other one was a croc, but the manual here was flipped over, so I thought from the pictures that it was croc 2, which I don't have. Turned out it was actually croc 1, as you can see I already have, so I didn't pick that one up. I only picked up Ape Escape, and this one is not fake. Anyway, 50 for this was a really good price. Here is the last pickup of the month for, I think it was 55. It was from a thrift store, and I found some video game accessories. First there was this really minty PlayStation 2 controller that I picked up because it was only 20, and usually these go for like 50, maybe 60 if they're really good like this one. But I'm thinking of keeping it because it's so close to being brand new, except for a bit of dust. Then we also have a power supply for PlayStation 2 Slim, also for 20. These also go for like 50 to 75. And then there's a charger for a Game Boy Advance. And inside the box for the charger was a copy of Sims 2 Pets for the DS. So all of that for I think 55 is decent. Thank you for watching this episode of Pickups. I hope to see you in March.